So the limited playtest for CZN has just ended, and I, as well as everybody else that's playing, has a lot to say. Now, before we dive into this hodgepodge of mediocrity, let's go over what is CZN. Now, for the uninitiated, uninformed, regular civilians, or people that just touch grass, CZN, because we're going to call it CZN right now because saying Chaos Zero Nightmare for a 20+ minute video is going to destroy me. Anyway, CZN is a turn-based deck-building roguelike gacha in the same vein of the deck-building of Slay the Spires or Chrono Arc on Steam, and with the mental stability and lingering effect systems that you may find in games such as Darkest Dungeon. Not more so the injury system, but more the mental strain and the mental breaks that you can experience in those games are on display here. Now, all footage in this video was obtained during my time with the closed beta test that occurred the week of the 18th September of 2025, and I have to say, after diving into the game for 40+ hours, I can't in good conscience recommend this game. Now, you know what? No, let's scratch that. Let's go ahead and just address the elephant in the room: Hoyo's influence. The over-reliance of systems, features, mechanics from other gachas, primarily Hoyo games, is going to be the genuine downfall of Chaos Zero Nightmare. From the gacha system, 50-50, the lack of meaningful progression, the game does not work with how it is currently structured. When you look at other games that utilize this system well, they're open world gacha games. Let's just use the biggest example, Genshin. When you reach a certain level cap in Genshin, you know what you have? Side missions, exploration. You know what you don't have in Chaos Zero Nightmare? Side missions, exploration. Do you know what you do have in Chaos Zero Nightmare? Simulations. Yep, that's it. Simulations. That is the only way outside of progression story that you can actually gain enough stamina to then reach the next level cap to unlock more story. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some games that do it well. This game just isn't one of them. Not at all. When you think of games of this vein that aren't open world, progression should not be locked behind reaching a certain account level for story. Throttling progression is going to drive people away from your game when there's no content for them to do. And I do not understand why these devs do not recognize this. You look at any other game like under this vein, you look at Artery Gear, Neuro Cloud, Nikkei, hell, look at Epic 7. As long as you had stamina, guess what? You were able to complete story. As long as you had stamina, guess what? You were able to farm. As long as you had stamina, guess what? Nothing was locked behind it. Taking this Hoyo system and saying, hey, yes, enjoy our story up until chapter 1, do the battle missions, and then level up until you're level 15 to continue with the next level of story. Now, this is an arbitrary level because I actually genuinely do not remember when chapter 2 was unlocked or what level it was, but that's bad. Hoyo Smilegate, fix that. Get rid of it. This game should not be released in the next 3 to 4 weeks with this system still implemented. If you are going to throttle content in a game that has no content outside of sending the same number of units into the same randomly generated maps just to get card data, that's not a good gameplay loop. You're going to lose majority of your community before your first half anniversary. Actually, you know what? That is a fantastic segue. Let's talk about the stamina. Now, in CZN, guess what? You use stamina for damn near everything. You want to run a simulation? Stamina. You want to run a story mission? Stamina. You want to run a battle mission? Stamina. Stamina, 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 stamina. Okay, sure, that's fine. Until you realize that you only have 240 stamina. And the storage system only allows you to store up to 6 to 8 pots a day. I'm sure I'm misremembering this. And remember, this is a gacha game being released in 2025, and there is no stamina cap storage at all. You look at Nikkei, with games like Nikkei, you can't cap your stamina, but guess what you can cap? Your outpost resources. You look at other Hoyo games that literally have them in their game right now in 2025. You look at ZZZ, you look at Honkai Star Rail, you look at Genshin Impact. They all have a system for you to store and save your stamina, as well as a stamina overflow system. This game, for whatever reason, took a lot of the different features from these Hoyo games, but the main ones that the community of those games begged for, they're nowhere to be seen. And I do not understand why. Okay, in all seriousness, the 50s-50 system should have never been implemented. It's trash. Next. Boys, have you ever played a game, I don't know, like a card game, a video game, a board game, and the board game used this random esoteric topic like initiative, morale, fortitude, and in the game you're like, what is that? Let me click it to see exactly what it is. Yeah, no, that's not in this game. As this current point in time, it's not in the game. But funnily enough, the tooltip issue is something that was brought up to them, that was fixed. There's examples on the internet right now of it being fixed, as you can see, and yeah, it's not in game at all. Funny, isn't it? Now, I don't want anyone to think that I hate the game. I'm being overly negative. I'm being overly critical. I'm not. I'm just being very genuine with my feelings right now about this current title, and they are not good, to say the least. But let's go ahead and transition over to what I think are some positives for the game, just so we can intersperse it with everything up, and then I'll round it out in the end with my feedback, certain suggestions, and my overall opinion and rating of the game. So if we want to touch on the main positive that I can find in the game is the character designs. Every character, doesn't matter if they're an NPC, playable character, they all feel unique, they feel distinct. The art direction from the weapons that they utilize, the colors on the character models, it's all beautiful. For a game that's supposed to be touted as a dark sci-fi fantasy, these units are very bright, vibrant, and bubbly. But then that brings me back to when they were doing their last showcase for the game, where they wanted to show that distinct difference between the vibrant colors and the aesthetics of the characters and the backdrop and the story, so I understand it. Beautiful, not gonna lie to you. Next section, we're gonna go ahead and talk about the background music, sound effects, and just the overall audio quality of the game.
皆さん、前に。ダメ。ナイトメア号。私の不運がイレイン。方向準備完了でございます。火竜よ燃え上がれ。攻撃と防御を紙一重。準備を。はっ。昇竜脚。は竜強天。
Now, the audio design of the game isn't bad. It isn't the greatest. There's multiple games out there like Nikkei, Arc Knights, Epic 7 that have music that are on level far beyond this game. But it's serviceable. For a game like this, I can say from the background music to the sound effects to the voice acting, everything is top notch. Now, if we want to move on to the next section, we can always talk about the enemy designs. Now, every mob in Chaos Zero Nightmares feels unique, but not only do they feel unique, which is a good thing in these type of games, they have kind of a feel of Pokemon or Digimon, where the monsters look unique, but they look like they have a natural progression from one eldritch horde to another. You can look at one gray, muscular, bipedal creature, and then you can look at an even larger gray, muscular, bipedal creature, and they both, even though they look somewhat similar, are very distinct. Some of these individuals from the monsters that you meet during Chaos Manifestations that just so happen to be eating other monsters, from the smaller little scavenger mobs to the giant hulking colossal monstrosities. Everything is just formulated fantastically in CZN. Now, I have to add the disclaimer because I don't want anyone to have the misconception that I'm saying that the CZN is a bad game. I'm not. At the bare bones, it is a good game. In the current state that it is now, the game will fail, okay? So now that we've gotten that out the way, if you've made it to this part of the video, congratulations, thank you. You know what? I'm gonna add a little test here just to see. If you made it to this portion of the video, comment down below hidden copers. So hidden and then COPERS. If you do that, you're a legend. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the character design. Now, I'm just sitting here looking at the footage that I took of the game. I'm looking over the character design, and it's not just the character design. Just the complete art design of the game is fantastic. From the cards to the partners to the characters to the abilities. It's well put together. You know that the art design team of this game put forth their greatest effort to provide us with a nice product. Now. We all saw the video. We all heard about the allegations of AI. We're not going to be discussing that here. The use of AI to start it off versus cutting corners due to time constraint. This is part of the course for any Gacha company. This is part of the course for any business whatsoever. They're going to use cost saving and I sound like a shill. Oh well. If you work in the corporate world, if you work in any type of business, you understand that you're going to engage in cost saving, time effective methods that may have negative ramifications or impact on your product and or your consumer. Now, everything else is well put together. All right. So if you're just coming as a waifu collector game, there's not that many waifus as at the current state of the game. At the current state of where CZN is and where we've played up into the CBT, there's not that many waifus for you to collect. But there are some. Calipe, Selena, Magna, all of them beautiful units. Orlia, beautiful unit. And that's where the waifus stopped. And if you go any further, officer, this man right here. Oh, another major win for CZN, and I feel like everyone's going to like this regardless of what type of gamer that you are, is the save data and the chaos manifestation system. The way that they've implemented the roguelike system and how you actually quote-unquote gear and grow your units is it's very intuitive. I'm not gonna lie to you. So if you're unaware of what deck builders are, I'm gonna give you a quick brief overview, and if you still need a more in-depth new player overview, I will link the video. I will in the description of this video link to IM_TSU's video detailing how to essentially play CZN. Now, just a quick surface level overview of what Chaos Manifestation is. If you are any way, shape, or form familiar with Darkest Dungeon, Honkai Star Rail to a lesser extent, it is essentially simulation universe with the Darkest Dungeon mental stress and mental strain mechanics. So essentially what it is that you load into a map that's auto-generated, and you have multiple different nodes that you can select, be they fights, so good fights against normal regular mobs, elite mobs. Then you have certain rest areas where you can recuperate your heroes, train them. You're able to back out, purchase items from the shop. So if you think of Simulation Universe, when Skrillium came back, he and Herta, they initiated the second version where you were able to purchase certain upgrades for your units whilst you are traversing the mode. You're still able to do that here, which is, you know, it's nice. That's one good thing from the Hoyo system that I will give to CZN. Everything else though, you know what? No. Positives. The next fantastic thing about this is save data. So if you are unaware, you start off with just a basic set of cards. You start off with 4 cards for each individual units for a deck of 12, and then you go into the manifestation. And throughout the manifestation, you unlock upgrades, or what the game likes to call them, epiphanies, for certain unique cards, as well as basic normal neutral cards that can help assist you with certain play styles. So if you've watched any of the videos on my channel, you know I am a heavy, like the biggest fan of Exhaust Kron. Running running Chaos Manifestations and getting save data for your 2 supports, or your support and your sub DPS, that allow them to have more exhaust cards is very beneficial for scaling Kron's damage immediately versus having to wait till you get the right rolls and you get the right RNG so that you can start snowballing. Another good thing about this mode that some people may have an issue with is how complex it is, and that it's actually a time requirement. Like, you have to actually sit there and do the mode versus things like Simulation Universe with Honkai, where you can just go in, quick battle, and then you're just out in less than 5 minutes. In this mode, you actually have to be strategic. You have to be precise. You have to say, okay, what unit am I building? What play style am I using? What cards do I need for this specific play style? So there's a lot of thought process that actually has to go into you building out your deck to then take it from the Chaos Manifestation game mode with your save data into other forms of content. Now, the last thing that we're going to talk about before we get to our verdict is my feedbacks and suggestions of where I think the game could improve and where they should probably go next, or certain things that they should implement in order to have a very successful launch. All right, let's go ahead and rapid fire through my feedbacks and suggestions because this video is already getting long and I want to respect your time. Feedback number 1, Smilegate. Get rid of the Genshin model. Everything that's from Genshin, throw it out. I don't care if the game needs to sit in the oven for another 6 to 9 months. That's fine. A lot of people are tired of the Hoyo model. They're tired of things being gate kept around arbitrary features and arbitrary levels. They just want to play the game. It's a very odd and wild concept in 2025 that gamers want to play a game, not farm a game, so that then they can then play the game. What I would say is also, because again, it's a gacha game, and the nature of these card battlers is the first set is usually garbage. Like, honestly, when a card or a deck-based system card game, anything comes out, the first set is trash. Let's think OG Yu-Gi-Oh! Who's over here in 2025 playing Gate Guardian, Celtic Knight, Dark Magician? Okay, actually, you know, there's people actually do play Dark Magician. You fucking psychos. Anyway, who in 2025? Actually, Pokemon. Who in 2025 is playing Giovanni? Who's playing Team Rocket Ace? Nobody. So they need to implement a system, or at least release expansions for older units in their card collections for their basic cards. Either tweak them every, I don't want to say, maybe every 6 to 12 months, go back and just revamp units. Give them a facelift. Yes, you want to sell your newer, shinier toys, but the older units do need love too, because someone's going to eventually get a dupe, and there's going to come in a time, maybe in a year, maybe in 6 months, it's more likely going to be like over a year and a half. Calipe is going to seem clunky and doesn't do enough damage. There's going to come a time where the HP bars and the HP totals above the enemy's heads are going to get so large. There's going to be so many X this number next to the bar because of how much damage is going to be done, that it's going to become a bullet sponge. Or, well, in a game like this where there's actually a ton of bullets, we can actually use the term bullet sponge, but it's going to have the feel of Destiny 2, and I don't want that. I want my bosses, I want my mobs to be challenging, not, oh, do big PP damage. If you can't do big PP damage, you sit here and you do small PP damage until the mob is dead. I don't want that. I'd actually like, as another feedback, because I was on that topic for way too long, is mini games. Any type of video games. An auto battler, Vampire Survivor. Actually, an auto battler for the card system would be nice, but a Vampire Survivors, you already have the chibi versions. You already have the mobs that are that size. You can just convert it from the 2.5D to a just 2D, 3D plane and have it like that. And you're able to just run around using your special abilities, and it's just nice. It'll break up the monotony, especially in a game that has no content. Thank you. Going forward, you have to do this. If you want this game to develop a community, you want people to get active, you want people to talk, you want people to enjoy this aspect of the game, just like Epic 7, you're going to need a guild or an alliance system. If you remember games like Artery Gear, those games had alliance systems where not only did you donate things to your alliance in the realm of resources that you farm, you can implement that somewhere in the No-No City, but you also have leaderboard events, you have time trials, you have bossings, you have these small little things every now and again that stimulate the community, plus a small little influx of materials, small little influx of currency back to the community, and gives them something fun to do versus just the same chaos manifestations. Because I keep saying this because you heavily just took, I'm not even gonna say steal, you took inspiration from Hoyo. People loved Simulated Universe until they didn't. People love something until it becomes a chore. And if you want this game to be fun, you want your players to enjoy themselves, do not get stuck in the repetitive task of giving your players chores. We just briefly touched over the leaderboard and time trial content, but something like that, it doesn't even have to be tied to the alliance. You can just release an event. It could just be Doomsday Chaos Manifestation. We need all of our Protoses to come together to defeat this one boss or this one giant threat. It could be the Galactus of the Chaos Zero Nightmare world, and all the Protos on the server have to come together and reach certain breakpoints or certain thresholds as a server. Like just think of the concept, right? All of the individual servers for CZN, they all go live at the same time. Boss rush event. Which server can defeat their boss the fastest? Whoever defeats it the fastest, that server gets something special. They get a reward, and it's a tiered based system. And then the leaderboards for who does the most damage goes from top 1 through 10, top 10 through 30, top 30 through 50, top 51 to 100, and then the percentages. And during those percentages, you get crystals, you get prism currencies, you get things like that nature. You know, something that won't necessarily break the game, but adds a separate economy in the game every now and again that people can do that gets them talking. Please, for the love of God, give us an energy storage system, something, or crystallized stamina. And I'm not talking about I get to go to the coffee shop and I can do it X amount of times and that's it. No, I want that. If my stamina is going to overflow, I can go to the coffee shop, I can quote unquote crystallize my stamina. But if I've done that, that's maxed, and my stamina is overflowing, implement a storage system. The same way Honkai does it. You can easily just say, for every 8 units above the stamina, or you can set it as a time period, 1 will be entered into the system. We already have a 240 stamina cap. You can easily have the overflow be 200. Something like that. Something to offer a modern convenience in a modern game. I know that's a crazy concept, honestly. Allow people, and I know this is going to be hard depending on how the game is structured, but allow the ability to farm save data dupes to increase the perks in the later game. So you know how they have the deep trauma mode, probably something like that. Or they can just implement it in the deep trauma mode where you get to go in with your save data and you have an opportunity to increase the percentages of your weapons, of your gear, of the cards that you have. So if you've noticed if you've played Chaos Manifestation or if you've watched someone play it, there's a specific weapon, it's an auto rifle design that increases your crit chance. And it has stars at the bottom. Let's just say as you continue to progress in that deep trauma mode, there's a chance that you can obtain that. Or at the end, there's a shop that you can use the gold that you earn during your manifestations runs to buy that upgrade or to upgrade the cards that you already have, so you're even stronger for the next run and the next run and the next run. So you're increasing the difficulty, you're increasing the enemy's damage, you're increasing the, oh god, I'm saying this and I hate saying this, you're increasing the enemy's HP, you're increasing the mechanics that they do, you're lessening the time between card activations for you that the enemy will take a turn. You're increasing the weakness break damage. You're increasing how much mental stress your units obtain. Something that offers a challenge but is actually enjoyable for your specific player base. And finally, the last thing, a simulation mode so that you can actually test units and test things. Yes, Chaos Manifestation is nice, but Chaos Manifestation is a very long, drawn-out process. Now, I did sing its praises for being long and time-consuming earlier, but when you want to just test out a unit, if you want to test out a combination, if you want to test out a team synergy, a team comp, allowing a simulation mode to be able to do that is nice. And I'm going to have to go and reference one of your competitors, Nikke. Nikke literally has a tower that you can go in. You can test all the units on your account or the units that were just released. You can run them with your team. You can run them with max leveled, max duped, max gear, and see how they perform so that you can, one, make an informed decision, and two, strategize. Something with a game like this that is heavily in deck building, for there not to be a simulation mode or a mode for you to test everything in the game is it's a very interesting choice. But this video has gone on long enough. I thank you all for being here. Hopefully if you've made it to this point of the video, oh shit, either you love my voice or you actually agree with what I'm saying. Either way, I love you all. If you have any feedbacks, anything that I've said, if you have your own ideas for suggestions, go ahead and sound those off in the comment section down below. I am an official content creator for Chaos Zero Nightmare, so I am able to relay your feedback and your suggestions to the dev team. Will they actually take a heed of it? Will they actually implement it? Who knows? But that is an avenue that we have to express our concerns. So before I let you go, to give a verdict for Chaos Zero Nightmare, unfortunately, as of right now, I have to give it a 5 out of 10. Like, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's not amazing. It's just, you know, you play the game. It's fine. Everything looks good. It sounds good. It makes you think, but with all of the negatives that the game currently has, like the bones of the game are good, but everything else is not. And you may feel this way. If you like the game, that's fine. If you just hate the game, you're never going to touch it, that's okay too. We are all just ordinary people running on this ball, trying to figure out what we're going to do and spending our time. So if you think that this game is worth your time, by all means, go ahead and give it a try. If you don't, I'm not going to judge you either. So see you later, YouTube. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. And if you want to follow me, twitch.tv/TsucchieKage. I'm live most days of the week and most weekends. Love you. Bye.